because there's always much to discuss. Always, always much to discuss. But let me tell you what's going on. Where do I start? I watched the movie Good Boy. I should put my headphones in. I watched the movie Good Boy, about the dog. That wasn't bad. Interesting. I guess you just got to be open to the idea. It's steady, slow and steady. Um, a bit of jump scare. Would I recommend it? Yes. Would I go to the movies to see it? Absolutely not. If I'd have spent $20 to go to the movies to see that movie, I probably would have been a bit upset because it's only like, I think it's like 72 minutes. But it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. Um, I thought it would be more from the point of view of the dog, like from the eyes of the dog. But you just see the dog. You barely see any of the humans in it until until what the concept is. I'm not exactly sure. In my opinion, I thought it was like sickness, death, and how dogs can see things like that. It was like a scary movie. I wouldn't say a horror movie. It's like a suspense, jump scare, thriller. Um, in my opinion, it's about death. I don't know what I thought. I thought it was going to be something else, but it wasn't bad. Check it out for yourself. You know what I just. So there's that. There's Good Boy. There's no easy segue to like Basketball Wives, but forever I was trying to watch Basketball Wives, like season 10, I think. So I finally found it. Season 9. Y'all watch Basketball Wives? Season 9 was the last time we see Toji, where they had the house and all the girls, whatever. So season 10 came, and there was something about season 10 I wanted to see, and I don't know, but I just couldn't find it. I didn't watch it in real time, but I found it online. I just finished that. That was okay. The women are, I don't know. I don't need to watch it anymore, especially if they're not going to have like the original girls on there, like Malaysia, Evelyn, crazy Jackie Christie. First of all, shout out to Jackie Christie because if there is a Mount Rushmore of reality TV stars, if there is a Mount Rushmore, when we were young, when we were young. Hey guys, 9 minutes. If there is a Mount Rushmore of celebrity, no, no. If there is a Mount Rushmore of reality TV stars, obviously you have Kim Kardashian. She's at the front. She's in the beginning because nobody's done it quite like her. And the thing is, you could be biased because it's like, what reality shows do you watch? But I think that's the thing about it is that to make it to Mount Rushmore, regardless of what shows you watch, you still know the people that are up on that mountain. Like the actual Mount Rushmore, all of those are absolutely the top presidents. Everybody knows they're all on. Most of them are on money, so of course you know them. So that's the thing about it. Whether you watch Housewives or not, or whether you watch the Kardashians or not, or whether you watch Basketball Wives or not, you know who Kim is, you know who Jackie is, you know who Nene Leakes is, you know who Bethany is. So there's the preface. But my Mount Rushmore in particular contains Kim Kardashian, Lanithia Leakes. It's only four, right? Jackie Christie, because she is devoted to the craft and the job of Basketball Wives. Um, she's committed to that thing. And if I had to put a fourth one on there, thank you guys for the likes. If I had to put a fourth lady, I don't know, it could be a guy too, I guess, huh? But there are no significant men. Her, oh, Jocelyn, oh, fucking New York. That's it. Are they all black? Are they all people of color? Absolutely. Are all the presidents on Mount Rushmore white? Absolutely. So it's Jackie Christie, Kim Kardashian, Lanithia Leakes, and the newly, what is she now? Not bipolar. What is she? Not asexual. What is she? What do you call it? What do you call it? I can't keep up these days. Um, Bilateral, whatever New York is these days. She's the fourth one. New York, Nene Leakes, Kim Kardashian, Jackie Christie. And that's not even an honorable mention. You have to watch Jackie Christie on the show. She just brings something to it. She keeps things going. She brings the interesting aspect of tick, tick, boom. It ain't about spinning off the show and making millions of dollars. Granted, maybe Jackie got 10 businesses. Maybe she do got $1 million outside the franchise, but it's about the impact in that space, in the reality TV space, specifically on Basketball Wives. Argue with your auntie. What do you guys think about that? Um, so yeah, I've been watching basketball. I just finished watching Basketball Wives season 10, and I tried to get into season 11, and I think I'm done because I don't care about Brittany Renner, and I'm not looking at. I'm just not doing it. It's just different. They want to bring in new people. I hate to hear Brooke's voice. Is so annoying. It's so annoying, her voice. And I think this is I mean, besides the show, and obviously, I don't know if people in here yet don't watch Basketball Wives, but um, I'm not going to break down the show episode by episode and the bullshit by bullshit because that's really all it is with Jennifer and all that stuff. Because who cares about Jennifer and who cares about those girls, you know? And the thing is, and everybody's important. Everybody is important in your own right, in your own life, in your own bubble, in your world, you know? But when it comes to television, I have the right to choose who's significant and is a non-motherfucking factor. And when I watch Basketball Wives, I am not invested in those women enough to care about anything that they got going on. So when it comes to people like Brooke, who are you and why? Brandy, really all of them. And then Angel has that face, and it's like, well, how do you have? And then you have these men. Angel's got that terrible face, like the work. And it's like when you take that makeup off, When you take that makeup off and you walk out of the shower and you walk into that mirror, you walk by that mirror, you stand in that mirror when you get like, what the fuck do you see? What do you see? All most of them, Brooke, Buffy, um, Brandy, Baby B, what's her name? Um, British. All of them have those bodies, and it's like, you gotta wear spandex. If I have to wear spandex to make my body look good, then there's a problem. And I think there's a whole another segment of conversation that could be had beyond that alone. Um, but it's just so fake. It's just so fake. And then they always wear those labels, Jennifer and all of it. They just Jennifer, Brooke. And I'm really caught up in this right now. This is in the forefront of my mind because like I said, I just finished watching the season because I had been wanting to watch it. I finally caught it. So now I'm just in all the feels of it all. um, why the bodies? Why do y'all choose those? Why do y'all choose those bodies? What makes you think? What makes you think? And then Brooke is a pretty girl, nice hair. She got the body. Her man still cheated on her. And there's no way in the world, there's no way in the world. You know, you say you put on makeup for yourself, you get your hair done for the girls, you get your makeup done for the girls, whatever the case may be. But there's no way you go into a doctor's office and get 1,000 cc's or whatever pumped into your body um, for girls. In my mind, if I were to get my ass done and walk around here with a literal dump truck behind me, it would not be, I'm gonna say this for the guys, it's for all the guys, but it wouldn't be for my friends. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that for my friends. I'm doing that to secure the bag, point blank in the period. And now I could be happy. Maybe I'm not happy with the way God made me. And that's a deeper issue. That doesn't have any, because then you'll never be happy, you know, with a man, with the ass, whatever. But if I'm unhappy with, I don't have enough lumps in my hump, then I don't have to go get it that big. It's just, you know, just the mindset, the thing is just, it's terrible. So it's good when people like K Michelle and Black China and all them go through those, set the precedent of like, okay, I went a little too far. I did things got away from me. And now I need to like dissolve some of this shit out of my body because it's not, K Michelle ain't got no man. Robert being Black China ain't got no man. So the ass and the stuff didn't do you anything that you thought was gonna do you. So we have to gotta stop that. Cardi B, man, can't keep a man. Man cheated on her, all that body. Nicki Minaj is with a rapist. Allegedly. Well, maybe not allegedly. But got all that body. You know, it's just the body doesn't do anything. I say all that to say that's what they focus on that show and that faction of the basketball wives with those ladies, and I don't like it. But that's just me. Besides that, the thing I found most interesting though, as I finished the series, the season, was Brooke's daughter dying. And she was on the show. And when she was on, her daughter was on the show. When her daughter was on the show, I thought, because they started the season talking about her daughter dying or whatever the case may be, and I thought maybe she had another daughter, a younger daughter, maybe it was a baby that passed or something. But apparently Brooke only has 2 kids. And apparently Brooke only has 2 kids. A son and a daughter. Now, I don't know, this is 2022. I don't know the shooting schedule, and I have to like really do some deep dive and digging to figure out when the shooting schedule is. But if this is 2022, Brooke's daughter died September 25th, 2022. By the reunion, I'm trying to figure it out right now. By the reunion, her daughter was already dead. The funeral was already done. But when, because in the season, losing my daughter, she talks about losing her daughter. I didn't put too much, I haven't put too much into it because I think it starts with the schedule. And then probably watching the season. Well, not just figuring out when they talked about it in the season again. But Brooke's daughter dies within the season. By the time season 10 reunion shoots, she's getting on Jackie about not showing compassion or reaching out or, being the good friend that she says she is and showing up for her when her daughter died. Jackie's defense is, which I kind of get, is like, girl, you don't really care. So why should I care? Your daughter died and you jumped right back in front of the camera. And it wasn't like she was like, oh, I can't even show, or, in scenes like, oh, I can't. My daughter died. I'm in despair. I'm in distress. Her daughter was 25. She was in there and instigating it and suing and starting up and getting worked up and everything like that. There was just never no mention of her daughter dying. And even still, what Jackie said, if my daughter died, I wouldn't even be on the show. And I think that's valid. It was just, that's really just the most confusing thing. After watching season 10, it was like, why are you on this show? Malaysia left the show because she didn't want to talk about the fucking foreclosure. You know, so I don't know, Brooke. I don't understand how Brooke is on the show, continued to be on the show after losing her daughter in such a tragic way because what they said it was a tractor trailer in Memphis. A tractor trailer is like a rig, like a construction vehicle, a tractor trailer. Oh no, a tractor trailer is something. A tractor trailer is something that you don't want to run into the back of. And she was in a Mercedes, apparently in a Mercedes as the passenger seat, and they ran into the back of a tractor trailer who was stopped because they stopped because there was an accident in front of them. So it was like a pile-on collision. If you're in the passenger seat in a Benz and you run into a tractor trailer, the visual of that, the visual of that is detrimental. The idea that your child experienced that type of death is, I think, would be crippling. Back to, I don't know why the hell you still on this damn show. But that's the thing, it's like, so maybe it was already done. But I also think there's just a way that you would carry yourself after. I'm talking about Brooke Bailey from Basketball Wives and her daughter passing, and why the hell she was on that season, and why the show is so stupid. Um, there's just a way that you would carry yourself. And I'm saying that your daughter ran into the back of a tractor trailer. If she wasn't decapitated by running into the back of the tractor trailer, she was virtually unrecognizable once they peeled the car from up underneath the tractor trailer because both her and the driver died. I don't know, things my mind focuses on, fixates on, and then that's just like the whole thing. And then whatever I'm thinking about, what Brooke's involvements are, what her husband's involvements are, what her baby father's. husband's her involvement's her, because I don't know if her husband is the father. I don't think her husband was the father of them kids, ex-husband, whatever. Brooke is a bird, and that was very apparent in season 10. So there's that. I don't know. I just am so confused, and I was really caught up in a thought after all of that kind of played out. And then I tried to watch season 11, and that's a no-go because I don't want to look or hear about none of them girls. So that's Basketball Wives. And I think I might look a little deeper into the whole Brooke's daughter dying and why she's so hell-bent on being on Basketball Wives. So there's that. Um in my spirit and in spare time, in my spirit and spare time, I have been like defending Taylor Swift. I have been defending Taylor Swift in my mind. Because people always get on people who just mind their damn business. Taylor Swift is somebody who just minds her fucking business. She has her life going on, and not even about the Travis Kelsey thing, because it's only a matter of time before, they have to link successes like Josh Allen and the girl from Sinners. It's just linking successes and linking brands and building awareness and whatever the case may be. So whatever about the marriage, but her as an artist, um, they and that's the thing. Taylor and Beyonce take pictures together, hug each other, support each other, whatever the case may be. And then, even in the midst of those actual visuals of what they're doing, there's always some type of comparison about her this, Taylor's this, and Beyonce's that, and Taylor's music is mayonnaise, and Beyonce's music is soul food. And it's just like, it's frustrating. There doesn't always have to be a comparison. There could be two different things, and people either like this or like that, or people can like fucking both, and that's just the real world. That you have the ability to like fucking both. I can like the seasoning that Beyonce brings to a song, and I can also like the essence of what Taylor puts into her music. Um, and there's arguments to be made on both sides about who is more deserving and who is more credible and things like that. But, but that's the type of world that we live in. That's even like a baseline conversation. Who cares? If you don't like Taylor Swift, then you don't have to listen to her. If you don't like Taylor Swift, you definitely don't need to compare her to Beyonce because Beyonce is not comparable really to many people, really in an overall regard. And not just because she's Beyonce, because there's a lot of, if Beyonce is a singer, actor, dancer, producer, and all those things, there are women out there who sing better than Beyonce. Um, Jessie J. There are people that out there that dance better than Beyonce, Sierra. There are people that produce better than Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez. There are people that act better than Beyonce, uh, Tiana Taylor. So when it comes to those conversations, we don't have to. There's always somebody better in a better position, whatever the case may be. I'm sick of the comparison, and this is what I'm getting at: is that even with them being in pictures together and kind of mystifying between them the whole battle that the world has put together of comparison against her and Beyonce, Taylor and Beyonce, we on the other side of that pop vein, we have direct interaction constantly, and the black hip hop space between Nicki Minaj and um that right there needs a more, I think, more awareness, because people have gotten so caught up in that. Um, and just like in Basketball Wives, or most black reality TV shows, the focus is on like negativity and violence. There isn't there isn't a reason why Nicki and Cardi don't like each other so much that they have to go publicly with it on platforms and involve children and, just navigate in that space. It's very Bigo. If you ever go on Bigo, it's very that. Bigo is a petri dish of negativity and discourse, and it's just disgusting behavior. But that's what people subscribe to these days. That's what people subscribe to these days. And not even that it sells albums. I think it just brings awareness for who needs more awareness. Tell me which one, Cardi B or freaking Nicki Minaj, which one of them need more awareness? And there's also something to be said about Cardi. There's also something to be said about Nicki Minaj, because if Cardi B is out here doing all these things, dressing the way she's dressing, attending the events she's attending, Cardi, why aren't you? I mean, Nicki, why aren't you? Why aren't you going to the fashion shows? Why aren't you um in these spreads, these magazine spreads? Why aren't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't you connected? Like, there's a disconnect there. That shit is just not running parallel and making sense the way it should. And the answer to the why aren't yous cannot be, oh, let me go on there and talk about this girl's kid, or even talk about her alone, unless it's manufactured and everybody is being fucking fooled, which I think is the thing. We can't focus on the truth of any matter because we're not getting the truth of any situation, and instead we're being fed bullshit like Basketball Wives and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B drama. And it's not because of them. I mean, obviously, in my era, my generation, it was definitely, Little Kim and Foxy Brown. Were they the first? And it started from there, and that was a different time. Apparently, they were like, they would keep it in the music, which is, I think, really the best place to really, as an artist, like when a painter goes through something, he paints about it. He doesn't go to social media and discuss it. He paints about it. She paints about it. They paint about it. Musicians go to the piano or the guitar or the ukulele or whatever instrument they play, and they figure that out. And there, a writer writes about it. Um, as an artist, like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B are going to social media and just generating all of that hate and discourse and stuff like that, just does more damage to the very community that they make their art for than it does for them. because they don't live on the same block. They don't, they have the ability not to even be in the same place at the same damn time. When in all actuality, if there's an issue like that, because once you talk about my kid on TikTok or on X or whatever the case may be, and we have a serious issue, and we're both from the street, and there's not enough money or celebrity or fame to take it away, and blah blah blah, and see me in New York and blah blah blah. There's definitely ways to handle situations. There's definitely ways to get in somebody's face and make sure things like that don't happen again because that's a violation. And if we're saying that we're coming to a point where kids are not off limits, like T.S. Madison says, you just see how everything ties together. Um, then we ventured further and further into these murky waters of discourse and disrespect, confusion, hate. Um, if Cardi B releases her music and Nicki Minaj doesn't like it, I really don't think there's no space opportunity for her to like consistently engage in that or even address it. Talk about it with your friends, Arrogant Tay, Kenny, Perry, Petty, Kenny, whatever. Talk to the baby about it. But there's no point in going on social media and creating all this stuff, especially when it makes you look crazy. Now I do think there's something to be said about the things that Nicki Minaj has said. Nicki Minaj says, in the same spirit that there's something to be said or something to hear in the things that Kanye West says. Now it comes from a crazy source, quote unquote. So maybe you don't want to hear it, or it gets wrapped up in um, the disrespect and the rhetoric. And again, that's the intention because but then people don't want to hear it. The things that make sense or the things that people need to hear, people don't want to hear unless it's wrapped up in some type of package of drama, disrespect, and discourse. And even then, it's more for entertainment value and not for informational purposes. Um, this Look at the Diddy situation. People are so focused on Diddy and baby oil and things like that. Um, that ultimately I think it's just a distraction from other things that are going on. Those stupid courtroom pictures, which are like that right there is the element of people need the entertainment and not the truth. Because why are you creating pictures like that? And because he's in jail or the family, like I would sue that the picture person because the depiction is not accurate and it's for shock value. That's the purpose of this whole thing, shock value. Um, I'm tired of being shocked. I'm tired of being shocked. I'm tired of AI. I wish there was a switch, there was an option to like not engage in AI, to not receive AI pictures or anything. I don't want to see AI anything. There's nothing, granted, there are some nice things. I've I have some pictures that are AI generated or whatever the case may be. But it just takes us out of the reality shit that we haven't experienced in forever. But it just drifts us further and further from the shore. And once you get out into the open ocean, Like they said about the what was that? Where she was like, in the open ocean, it's a lawless land. It's a lawless fucking land. Anything goes, and you could be pirated and drowned in the flash in the blink of an eye. But because it's so consistent, and because there's so many apps and so many opportunities to get further and further out, that you don't even focus or don't even realize what's happening. Especially if you don't have someone tethered to shore to explain that or even make you more aware of that. I don't think that's coming back around. It's not coming back around because I don't even know. I guess I came on here to ramble. I guess I came on to ramble. We're looking at the presidency, we're looking at politics, we're just looking at the things, and everything is not what it was. Just take me back to the days where, Axe Jeeves was in charge of the girls. Take me back to those days. Take me back to the days of segregation. Take me back to the days where, the gays were dipping and doing it secretly and not parading around or being culture jocked. Just take me back to the days. I wish I was born in like the 70s, maybe even the 60s, maybe the 40s. I think that was more of my time, 70, between the 40s and the 70s. I think that was more of my time because this shit is nuts. This shit is nuts. And and it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better. Um, Chris Jenner is aging in reverse. Not necessarily, but she looks great. It's just so much going on. Like little ramble. Um, yeah, just take me back to a time where everything wasn't so readily available. Where and that's I don't even, and that's the thing. I don't even think it's people's opinions. Like again, like the I'm not saying real life, actual air breathing individuals don't have the wherewithal or capacity to generate conversations or have opinions for that matter when it comes to things like comparing Beyonce and Taylor Swift or engaging in the arguments of um Rihanna, no, engaging in the arguments between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. But there's a beast, there's an underlying beast that facilitates those things because there are people doing things, saying things. I'm not saying I need to be, but there are a lot more people, or there are people who call attention to the actual reality, call attention to the underlying beast that doesn't make it past a certain point. Was that guy, the Sandy Hook guy? And now that's the thing. Now we done forgot his fucking name. Jones, Alex Jones. Where the fuck is Alex Jones? Where the fuck is Alex Jones? And then you replace him with what's his name? Um, you replace him with him, and he approaches the line and everything like that, and even has kind of those. Well, he has enlightening conversations as far as like, hey, this is what happens in the core of the earth, and did you see this article about these sorts of things, and blah 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 blah. But as far as like calling out issues that people, because something about somebody says one thing, sometimes people run with that, or because the media says that, people run with it as truth. And because people have been watching the news for not centuries. How long has the news been going on? Because people have been watching the news for decades, let's just say, it becomes a reliable source. So when the news says these people died in this place at this time, you believe these people died at this place at this time. But then you get somebody like Alex Jones who come on there and say, this person was in this particular place at this particular time and these things happened. Like when we talk about 9/11. 9/11 happened, you thought it was just a random Tuesday in September, but it wasn't so random that Michael Jackson didn't show up that day, or like, other individuals like Anna Wintour, she didn't show up to work that day. The Vogue officers were in the building or were in the World Trade Center. People didn't show up to work that day, and influential, significant people did not show up to work that day. That's not that's not coincidental. That's not random. But it's hard for people to process that being a reality. Meanwhile, consume shows like Scandal and 24 and whatever and Homeland. You know what I'm saying? Things like that where they show you how things play out or how the dominoes get set up. But because it's a show, that always just an entertainment factor. Meanwhile, because Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, which is a show, this entertainment factor requires so much of your energy and so much of your time, and now you want to dissect the things. Or Beyonce and Taylor Swift sucked into the funnel or the vortex of that because they don't facilitate any of that. It is a outside source creating that rift, and people get into that conversation, accept that. They accept that entertainment as actual reality and not the real reality that is displayed in entertainment. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Do you know news is an acronym. News stands for neighborhood, entertainment, weather, and sports. Did you know that? How long have we had the news? Humans have always passed on news, with early news sources including word of mouth, oral historians like griots, and written reports such as ancient Roman Acta Diurna, Di- Diurna, and Chinese court reports from 618 to 907 AD, so millennium. The concept of a modern newspaper began with handwritten news sheets in Venice in 1566, and first printed newspapers appearing in Germany around 1605, with the first daily paper, the Daily Current, published in 1702. I like that. That's something to look into. So there's that. We find truth and entertainment in things that we want to, and when truth and but when truth and entertainment don't overlap, people don't follow that. And even if truth and entertainment do overlap, it's wrapped in a package that I don't think you really take the time to absorb. And now here I can enter in Wendy Williams, regardless of Lord of everything that's going on with Wendy Williams. I think right now is a time. Well, she what is she? Her whole demise or her whole downfall. I don't want to use those two D words. She deteriorated on truth, and not even on the truth or opinions that she spoke of about the entertainment industry. Her downfall was based in her own truth. My husband had an affair and had a child. My son is on drugs and he steals my money. My mother is sick and she's gonna die. Things that those are the things that brought her the fuck down. I have lymphedema and my legs look like this and I can't wear heels anymore. I don't know. Even and then in the truth of, because my opinion is that Wendy, you just don't get to be where you are as like, or you don't get to be where you are. You don't have had the life that you live without experience and knowledge of people in the industry that, and then in that process of knowledge and being in the industry, you become someone different. Your skin is reptilian and your mindset shifts and things like that, and priorities change and things like that. Um, are the things that you grew up on as important to you now as they were back then? Is the focus on family and monogamy and all that stuff important now as it was back then? Um, is there more? Is there more pressure to keep up appearances or keep up an image now than it was back then? I just seen today that her husband, what does he have? He had a, I don't even think I like this. So I don't even know if I can pull it back up. But Kevin had a case, Big Kevin tried to file a suit against that. I don't want to fuck that up because that's legal talk and I don't want to be inaccurate in that. But whatever he did with the courts, they threw it out. And it's like, oh, this Kevin, I don't even know. That's just that whole Wendy Williams thing is really such an ordeal. So many more moving parts than um like say Britney Spears's conservatorship and situation. And it all boils down to the money. Are Kevin and Wendy divorced? I think they are divorced. I think it is finalized. Okay, yeah. In 2020. Yeah, this right here. Wendy Williams' ex-husband Kevin Hunter's guardianship lawsuit um thrown out. The great juice net lawsuit tossed out. And that's what I mean. Natasha, girl, hey. And that's what I'm saying about it flips like Alex Jones and things like that. It just flips. The people that bring awareness to like the truth. And if Wendy was more political and dabbled into those type of deeper topics and things like that. Like she tried to do it like Don Lemon when she would bring him on and stuff like that. But they were all talking about pawns and everybody's a fucking pawn and that's the thing. But um Wendy focused on the entertainment industry. which again is what people like. They want the entertainment aspect of it. So that's the space that she occupied. And maybe she did have opinions on in politics and things like that, but because that wasn't her vein or her bread and butter, that's not where she shout out to Natasha. That's not where she that's not what she focused on. But she brought truth to certain situations in the entertainment industry. And it was some element of truth because some yeah, she did start doing the whole allegedly thing, but nobody ever brought a cease and desist, or maybe they did, and sometimes we didn't hear about it. So I don't know about that sort of thing, but lots of things she did speak about or brought awareness and attention, um, open people's eyes up to certain situations or whatever the case may be, made people think about things in a different way than maybe they hadn't before. And that was all pre Britney Spears getting out of her conservatorship and Tabitha Brown becoming Rachel Ray or whatever, and all that stuff. Um, she talked about things, especially back in the radio days. She talked about a lot more things. Um, and that's just because she was trying to be, not trying to be, but she was just, getting her name out there and really tapping into the things that people, she was dialing into what the people wanted to hear. And it was entertainment. It was gossip about your favorite entertainment stars. Uh, Diddy, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey's Total, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just I love just Wendy. Period. It's just so sad, but this is what I'm saying. It's like now we're here. We're at a point where the truth took Wendy down. Her own truths took Wendy down, and now she's in this. Now she is the headline. The way that she kept in touch with, like when Lindsay Lohan was going through all her stuff and she kept those mug shots up and she had that whole thing about the Lindsay Lohan report. She had that treatment for that. That's kind of where it is now with Wendy. Wendy is that she is the hot topic. I'm just rambling as I do. Um, and I'm saying that to say in the spirit of the industry that she that's how they do. They will lift you up, 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 and let you fall so hard. And when this whole thing started, when she left the show and she was vaping in the back of the car, or she was in the wheelchairs and stuff like that, I was just like, Wendy. Oh, here we go. Wendy, Wendy is in control and she knows what she's doing and she's been in the industry for a long time and she knows how to keep her name and whatever. But there has been so much going on now with these artists that if somebody like Wendy Williams discussed it, I think would bring too much awareness to it. Um, because now there's so many different places to get your information. Just not ones you don't sit in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and tune into Wendy Williams or 12 o'clock at midnight on BET. There's no set place to sit and dial into everything that's been going on. Now you're watching Natasha K and Kendra G and Kempire and the Monty and the Shade Room and the thing. There's just so many different things, and everybody reports things differently, whatever the case may be. So things are scattered. And just like the fucking news, you watch Fox or CNN, MSNBC, ABC, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. There's something to be said about that solid place where you get the information that you connect with. That's why somebody like Oprah Winfrey was so successful, because she was that one place where you got everything that you needed. It could be like a lifestyle type thing. Martha Stewart, that one place you go to get the things that you need. There's something to be said about that. And when we lose that, things get thrown up in the air. At the same time, what I'm saying is that when we lose somebody like that, when we lose something like that at such a integral point in the world, because there's all ebbs and flows, even with Oprah, and now she's trying to get back into the whole thing. But Oprah's podcast doesn't have the same weight as like the Oprah Winfrey show, um, and that's on push. They don't push that enough. If you're not on Instagram, and maybe somebody's hearing this right now for the first time that she has a podcast, there's just no push for it, because generally, no, they don't want people. Oh, whatever. These are just my opinions. But they do not want people enlightened. They don't want people motivated. They don't want people informed, um, past a certain point. They don't want that. You know, the vase, the proverbial vase, and whatever. But it's all something. It's all very much so something. And and it continues to play on. It continues to play on. What you call it? Because now what you call it is gay. Now he's all cis, and everybody wants to cis him up and gay him out, and whatever the case may be. Stefan Diggs. What a world! What a world! What a world where Cardi B leaves this relationship with this man that she has 3 kids with, leaves him, and immediately gets pregnant by another man who's gay. Why are they even talking about him being gay? Crossing brands, crossing awareness, crossing brands, building awareness. For what? Stefan Diggs. Does he have a short lived 15 minutes like Odell Beckham? Or does he, I don't know, come up like Travis Kelsey and the Kelseys? It's like, what's the goal? And why is it always homosexuality with these men, which then reflects bad on the gays? It's so frustrating. Do y'all understand what the fuck I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And no, because this is the mindset, and it's piecing things together. So it's hard to put something like that. It's not actually, it takes a lot of production to make it fluid. But I think too, as a listener, you have to be even interested in the option or the idea or the notion that you're being misled or manipulated. But in my opinion, in 2025, if that's not a thought that crosses your mind every time you see something, if they talk about Stefan Diggs being gay, or if they talk about fucking Lori Harvey and that's the thing, Stefan Diggs is gay, pregnant, getting pregnant, and fucking the people. But Lori Harvey and fucking Idris, the Damson Idris is a serious thing. Come on, Rebecca. Come on, Rebecca. And just the truth. And I think there are people. I think people are talented enough And I think there is some real life drama. I think people can go through, their own interpersonal drama and whatever the case may be, like real life situations. I think those things can happen enough to entertain the people. But if it's the things like desensitization, desen, desensitization, um, instant gratification, and endorphins and all that shit. And it's like if you keep desensitizing people, then you keep having to raise the level at which you get a response out of them. And there's obviously a formula, and that's why I bring out the whole Stefan Diggs, the black man, the black football player who's gay. Meanwhile, Travis Kelsey and them are not gay because they're white and that or whatever. Um, there's a there's the pattern to that, but there always has to be there all the entertainment industry, the powers that be, they're always upping the ante on what will get the people stimulated. And because of that, real life things, unless it's like tragic, if I get on here and I talk about the terribly sad things that are happening in my life, people will respond to that. Oh my God, because it's an escape from their tragically horrible lives, or it's a reflection of their tragically horrible lives, or there's a comparison because of their great life or whatever the case may be. People just nosy because they just want to be nosy. I see. The dolls are everywhere, okay? The dolls will doll. But that's the thing about it. If now I'm getting on here talking about just bringing awareness to things, open up your eyes, or whatever the case may be, and it's like, oh, well, that's not what I want to hear. One thing is more beneficial than the other. And I guess that's for you to make a personal choice and decide which one is more beneficial to you. And I'm not telling you to make the choice. I'm just saying. Um, and I think again, there's a reason. Um, there are certain people who are put in those positions, in the positions of a million plus views. You know what I'm saying? Great production teams to keep content consistent and keep in the face. Somebody like, let's say Candace Owens, for example, who came out the bat on such a on such a stance that really turned people more off than on. The people that she turned off with her stances are people more in her community. So now when she says things that resonate with the community, or even if she says things that are beneficial to everybody, the community that stands to gain more from what she says do not prescribe to her, so they're not receiving the information. They're not even gonna, if they hear it, they're not even gonna absorb it because they don't like her. Like Malcolm X said, if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. Malcolm X said that, right? And these days, it doesn't even have to be in a book. It could be in a podcast, but the podcast has to be wrapped up in such a certain way to get the endorphins and get the triggers and things like that for people to even understand it. When I say something like bring back segregation, people immediately go to the negative aspects about it. People might even um, people might even equate segregation with slavery. But this is the thing about the powers that be and the people that sit in a room and make these decisions, that have sat in rooms and made decisions that have now trickled down into this situation that we're in right now. But if you put me in a world where I have to support my people, or you have to support your people, the only thing that comes out of that, The only thing that comes out of that is your people grow. Your people grow. If women are the number one consumers, 85% of the collective is women. 93% of of the shopping that happens in the country is done by women. If women knew where their opinions were being heard and they were going to be serviced properly and everything like that, then those would be the places that they would frequent and they would put their money into. Those places would flourish and thrive. If we're talking about segregation and we're talking black, white, Middle Eastern, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, or if we're just simply just talking about the segregation of um, white and people of color, then if white people continue to thrive in their and they support their places, and my only option is to support people of color, and people of color only option is to support other people of color. I'm willing to bet that the people of color we would progress. We would not be where we are in 2025 right now, and there wouldn't be government things of, oh, let me help you start a small business loan. There wouldn't be anything like that because the money and everything would be in our own communities, and it would continue to grow and thrive and flourish. But if the powers that be decide that we're not going to let small businesses thrive, because small businesses usually are people of color, bigger businesses are usually people that have older money, longer standing, whatever the case may be. We're not going to support small businesses, or you need to fall within these guidelines to get a loan to start with a small business. Um, or I don't know, and I don't want to, unhinged. I don't want to sound unhinged when I say something like that. Or, you start a small business, you say you have a salon, or you have apothecary, or you have, a farmer's market or something like that, and then it gets trashed or whatever the case may be, let's say by those things, because they don't want you to grow. The idea is to keep you boxed in. And it always comes back around. Keeping us boxed in is not exactly always about a business. The way they wrangle and I'll put myself in the category as well, but the way they wrangle us, the dog that keeps the sheep in line is the very thing that you're watching me on right now. Is the very service that allows me to be in your space right now. And this is like today. When we talk about the news and propaganda, I just said been since the 18th century. We're in the 21st fucking century. That's 400 years. No, shit, 400 years. 400 years, that's slavery. Well, that's 1800s to now is like 200 some odd years, 220 something years. But that's a lot of years where nobody in this space right now is 100 years old. Nobody in this space right now is 80 years old. So imagine 200 years of people deciding things. And that's just 200. We're going back. Slavery was that was 200. And that's not even 1865. 1865 is when slavery was abolished. 1865. 1865, and then 65, 35 years after that. That's my lifetime. 35 years after that, we get into 1900s. Now we know people that were born in the 1900s. Some of your grandmothers, great grandmothers were born in the 1900s. That's really not that long ago, 3 generations. But maybe four generations, but it's not that long ago where things were something completely unfathomable right now, but were absolutely the standard back then. And the motion and the idea of creating where we are right now was already in motion. I was just in the shower thinking about like AI. Like I told you, I'm like done with AI. I think AI is definitely gonna be the death of people. Um it's just not gonna help. And when AI crosses with the news and media, it is an absolute recipe for disaster. And if AI were showing like, oh, glitches, oh, AI is, oh, you know, it's AI because it got the fingers, and you know it's AI because of this, that, and the third. I feel like that's just a soft launch for absolutely what's to come, or even it is the palatable piece of AI that they can feed to the people. Because the thought I had today was, do you not think that when they came out with the Saved by the Bell cell phone, that there wouldn't be a flip phone after that? Or they didn't already have the prototype for that? Did you not think when they came up with that Motorola Razor and Dolce Gabbana collection, the gold phone, did you not think that they had the idea for a smartphone then? Do you not think that the advancements in technology and advancements in internet connection and things like that were not already in motion, that they didn't have the prototype for that? And they said, oh, we can give people, let's give them sidekicks. Do you not think that they have been just dishing out, piecing out pieces of what they already have established to the masses to again wrangle to be the dog that wrangles up the sheep and leads them into the thing? Do you remember seeing Babe? I know y'all saw Babe. I know y'all saw Babe. Bah ram you. And even that bah ram you thing is a chant. It's a spell. Incantation is what I'm looking for. I know y'all saw Babe. I don't know if I even fucking do this. They keep sending it around. They keep sending the dogs around, and the dogs usually come from the same lineage. They don't go to the pound. They get a new dog and train the dog. No, the dogs are bred, and the dogs know exactly what the fuck to do. No, talking to my mother. Talking to my mother about eyebrows. Um, I was gonna do me an order last night. Shout out to Walmart. I was gonna do me an order last night, but I just did an order 4 days ago. I can't get any more stuff because I don't want to get nothing and it go bad. So I'm gonna wait to get another something. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. That's how I feel. What else is going? What's another? Give me some. What's another topic? Give me something. I don't even know how to talk funny anymore. I just don't be able to do so much thing. I'm gonna call you guys back. J.Lo on the red carpet with Ben. And it's not. And it's not. If she used Ben, let me write this down because this is good. J.Lo on the red carpet with Ben, and then I'm getting out of here because my best friend want to call. J.Lo, Ben, 123. Is it 123? J-Lo on the red carpet with Benifer. Benifer on the red carpet again. Um, First of all, that was a beautiful dress or a nice addition to the spider thing. When I saw the interview and she said that Ben was a producer on the project, like he put money into it, like everything else kind of went away. If Jennifer marries these men or gets in a relationship with these men and they chopping out millions of dollars because he put into that she did that movie all something whatever, and I think that was great, where she had like Dolly Parton and all of them, not Dolly Parton but Jane Fonda and Kiki Palmer, and what I'm saying, that was a beautiful production, and nobody else has ever done anything like that at all. And I don't think she gets enough credit for the things that she comes with. That's why I said you talk about a better producer than Beyonce. Definitely Jennifer Lopez. Um, if she can produce these things because people like Ben Affleck are helping her produce these things, then fucking good on her. Ben was on the red carpet because he put money towards this spider project, which I'm gonna fucking see, and I know it's probably gonna be fucking good. Um, so that's why they were on the red carpet together. What I would like to know is she was talking through the smile because he was whispering in it. Now, those are the types of things I want to fucking know, and those are the types of things I won't be able to get to. That I'm interested in information that you can't possibly get access to. I'd literally have to talk to her to find out what she said to him. Thought she was talking to him just like this, and she was just, he was saying something, and nobody would know what she was saying because she was looking just like this, that sort of thing. Um, I love that. I thought interesting about her on the red carpet with her sons, um, because Emmy is trans, very mask presenting, even more so than Max. Um, they're also very pale. I thought they lived where do they live? It's either California or fucking Miami, and they are very pale kids, which I thought was interesting as well. But yeah, when I seen it, I was like, oh, this is interesting. What's this about? And then she did the interview, and she was like, oh, he produced um, projects, projects being to work a long time, and they just busted up maybe 2 years. It's been about 2 years, I guess. Then Mark's kids, but I think even Mark get a tan sometimes. Jesus Christ, them kids is pale. Um, and they look a lot like Mark, a lot like his family, I'm sure, because they don't really look like Guadalupe. They look like Mark's. They look them as definitely Mark's kids. But yeah, when I seen her with Ben, I was like, oh yeah. But then, like I said, she said he was a part of the production, and like, that's what I was saying. Production takes a long time, and he gets locked in. And I don't think he doesn't. I don't know shit about Ben Affleck. I really don't, other than what we see. But I think if he's an alcoholic, and this is just real life, if he's an alcoholic, a millionaire alcoholic, and he does wrong, I think he'll do whatever he can to make things right. I don't think his kids with fucking Jennifer Garner gotta ask for anything. I think he chops out for them because I think he feels some type of guilt um, about what he did to Jennifer or however he was as a father, whatever the case may be. So he was with Jennifer Lopez. He was with J.Lo, and I'm sure she's the type that I don't know, probably takes things um to get to sleep because her mind is constantly running with ideas and things like that. And she brought up this idea, or this came across her table, and she was like, I'd love to do something this for a passion project because this is a type of artistry that she's always seen herself in in theater and not so much film and blah 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 blah. And he was like, yeah, of course I'll give you fucking $2 million, $3 million. Of course I'll do that. Finance that. I make $2 million in 2 months. Um, so that's why he was at the red carpet with her, and they look great. He looked drunk, and that's that. All right, I'm getting out of here.